Good morning, y'all. What's up? It's your boy ARP. We back with the Sorry It's True podcast. It seems super late for some of us, right? It's about 8:40 a.m. Some people are used to us being here anywhere from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Trust me, I feel out of it too. Hold on. I don't even think I got my headset correct. Hold on. Yeah, I'm tripping. I'm all over the place. We wasn't here 5 a.m. this morning because I just woke up about 45 minutes ago. And y'all know that's nothing. I'm normally up and at it super duper early. But I mentioned on yesterday's stream, I said I'm gonna have a recap for y'all because I had something going on last night. I may have went to one of the best shows that I've ever seen. Literally. Give y'all a full recap of that, man. Something epic that I was able to witness last night. Something I'm very, very proud to have been able to be involved in last night. And yeah, I'll give y'all the details. I'll give y'all a full breakdown of that. You also see here in the title, we got Jane gets pressed in Diddy Trial. This is the fifth day of allegedly Daphne Joy, 50 Cent's BM on the stand testifying in this case. I'm telling y'all, once again, if you move the hotel video of Cassie and you take out that piece, Daphne's testimony is worse and heavier and more impactful than Cassie. 50 Cent's BM is up there going to town. And they obviously have a big of, from the prosecution side in her because they got her on the stand that long. Okay. She is that important to their case. So we'll get into some of that. What else do we got going on? Dame Dash. It looks like this was the draw for him. We'll take a look at some of those details. We've been covering some of his legal issues and some of his lawsuits that he's been losing over the last couple years. He's been going through so much drama. Some of it may have been self-inflicting. Some of it may just bad decisions. Some of it may have just been bad luck. Either way, it's all pretty much coming to a head with him. Something going on with some revelations between the Drake and the Kendrick beef, a little something else that stirred the pot. We'll bring that up. I got a little clip of Lil Baby to see what's going on. So yeah, I got a couple things. Part of me, if it feels like this is a shorter stream than we've been having for the last couple days, because like I said, man, I'm catch up right now. I woke up way too late after last night, but last night, Dark Shades and Advil. Last night was mad real. So let's get to it. We're gonna start off with the Diddy trial, right? Let's make sure that with speed here and what's going on with Miss Daphne Joy, allegedly. But we can still call her Jane if we want. It's all good. So it was a shorter day in court yesterday. They started at 12 instead of like the typical like 8 something 9 a.m. Right? It's around the time where they normally take lunch breaks. So you see here, one of the first notes that came out was Sean Combs held a small orange book to court yesterday, raising plenty of curiosity about the title. It was The Magic of Believing. All right. Well, there's always a lot of visual stuff that defendants do in court. They'll wear, if they never wore glasses before, you're going to see TK in court wearing glasses, right? Try to give a more collegiate look. The books that they hold, what books are they? Nobody's going to show up with a damn porn magazine, right? It's all optics. Stuff like this then makes headlines and then it goes out into the media. It goes out into the world. He's trying to uphold certain images and show certain things. And the magic of believing, hey, he's going to need a little bit of magic to beat all the charges, right? But so far, I think out there, the public opinion is that he's doing all right. His defense is doing pretty good. There's a lot of reasonable doubt that the jurors are going to have to go around when it's time or get around when it's time to deliberate. So, all right, Jane's testimony poses a conundrum for jurors. I just said it, reasonable doubt. If you have a conundrum, then you can't go, oh, this is black and white to me. This is beyond reasonable doubt to me. This is 100% to me. You have to acquit, right? It's the black glove moment for OJ. We got a lot to go through. All right, a crucial prosecution witness was cross-examined about the love she said she still feels for Sean Combs, even as she delivers testimony that could help send him to prison for decades. All right. The blandification of Sean Diddy Combs. We could skip that one. Juror accused of lack of candor by prosecutors. Let's see what that is. Didn't one of the jurors get in trouble yesterday? We heard about almost got excused for lying. They found something he didn't disclose, or she. Prosecutors seem to have requested that a juror be kicked out of the trial. Before the jury entered Wednesday morning, Shawn Combs' attorneys said they were adamantly against reversing, calling it a thinly veiled effort to dismiss a black juror. Ooh. All right. So it's a black juror. It's the prosecutors that was trying to get somebody up out of there. And the defense said, no, 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 no. We picked that person during jury selection. That person to stay right where they at. U.S. Assistant Attorney Maureen Comey countered that her team had researched the juror in question and saw what appeared to be a lack of candor with that raises serious issues. She added she only reluctantly put those findings in a letter to the judge, which has not been made public. We first learned of the juror issues when Judge Arun asked for the lead counsels to come into his robing room. The conversation is under seal. So we don't know the details really, but what do you mean lack of candor? Like what the hell is that? I never heard that one before. All right, whatever. Let's continue though. Let's continue. I ain't worried about the juror right now. And they also remember, they don't just do the 12 normal jurors that have been up there on the panel this whole time. They also have the sideline jurors that they pick as well from the pool when they did the initial jury selection. So they have like backups. They have jurors that are on the bench just waiting their turn. So, all right. Defense lawyer Teen. Now remember, everybody, when we see this Teeny Geros, and as much as we keep saying, yo, tag Brian Steele, we want to see Brian Steele in action. Brian Steele has definitely been activated during this trial, and he's done a good job thus far from some of the cross-examinations that we've seen. The Tina Gregos is more tactical here. You have what seems to be one of the most impactful testimonies and witnesses up on the stand right now in Daphne Joy, aka Jane, aka 50 Cent's baby mother, aka Diddy's love slave, all alleged, I'll say, right? She's up there for 5 days of testimony. And what do? You cross-examine from the defense with a white defense attorney that is also a woman. Now, it's one thing to have a man berate a woman that's up there, and every day that Daphne gets to a point where she ends up crying, right? There's always something that going on in her testimony where she's getting emotional, she's breaking down. It's optics. We just talked about even the book that Diddy walked into the damn courtroom with, and how it matters what you're wearing, the color choices that they choose to wear, the defendants. Do they have on glasses? Are they wearing it? It all is optics, and it all matters. 1000%. Are you walking in there in an orange jumpsuit and a tattooed face with your wrist together, looking like, oh yeah, he did that shit? Or you suited and booted, nice little pair of glasses, a turtleneck sweater with a book that says "Be courageous." Like the optics, 100%. So if you got a Brian Steele or your lead attorney up there badgering this woman, saying, look at this text message right here saying, can you please send me another $8,000 for a shopping spree? What the fuck is? And you got the white female attorney badgering this woman that continues to cry every day on that stand. It looks better, because woman to woman, just look at the optics of a woman telling another woman, I don't believe you, right? Very good play by Diddy's defense there to do that. Very tactical. So when you see Teeny, that's who it is, okay? Defense lawyer Teeny Gallegos is asking Jane about text messages she sent Shawn Combs during the temporary breakup in 2022. The witness, testifying under an alias to protect her privacy still, has previously testified the break followed a particularly rough freak-off where she felt Combs forced her to have sex for hours. If it was as toxic as you were saying, you were welcome to leave, right? There goes that C word, people, consent. Combs texts Jane in a message Gallegos read aloud for the court. Text from Jane to Combs: help the couple reconnect. How are you? It's my birthday weekend, and you ain't showing me no love, it read. These two, man. I had a debate yesterday when I was on my way to the show, and once again I'm gonna give y'all a full breakdown of that later on. I had a debate if did Diddy love 50 Cent's BM? Did Diddy love Daphne Joy? Were they in love? Was she his girlfriend? You want to know what my side of the debate was? I said yes. I said Diddy definitely seems like like he's got the ladies man element to him, right? And he's out there swinging around with a bunch of women. Even he does it even in their face. He'll have Daphne in there at home, and then he'll do a podcast um with Young Miami and talk about their relationship right there for the world to see. And that's coming out even in testimony of her complaining about Young Miami and being jealous of Young Miami in times where she said, damn, you bought this other chick the same jewelry that you bought me. Look at like what the fuck is going on, right? I'm of the belief that the Daphne and Diddy relationship really was a thing. Really was a thing. I think that they had a lot of love for her. I think that it was like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. I don't think that she was just some side chick that was getting 10 grand a month, getting freaked off. Yeah, that's Diddy's thing. And yeah, he definitely will mistreat the shit out of a lot of the women that's involved with him. These are the type of girls that he might firebomb your car for, allegedly. He might fuck you up for, allegedly. He'll beef with your BMs, all this type of stuff. He'll run down on people for these women. These other women powered by him, or we'll get you killed. Didn't Cassie testimony come out about that? She's threatening people over footage and whatnot. We are in love, emotionally bound relationships. They're just toxic as fuck. They got a lot of nasty stuff going on. There could be an element of coercion. There could be an element of threats and holding stuff over your head. I believe another thing that came out yesterday, we didn't read it yet. She mentioned Daphne once again, allegedly. She mentioned threatened her that he would show her baby father her sex videos. That would be 50 Cent. And wouldn't that be crazy as fuck, especially considering that 50 Cent ended up losing a damn lawsuit to Rick Ross from doing what? Putting out videos of Rick Ross's BM. Right now, imagine if that shit happened to him, right? Would 50 Cent sue Diddy? A chain of fucking suing because all y'all are getting exposed for who your women BMs really are, allegedly, But yeah, that's my opinion on the Daphne and Diddy relationship. It's a real relationship, all right. It was. It's just Diddy does things some weird way most of us can't relate to. All right. Jane would often buy matching shorts for Sean Combs and the male escorts he hired to have sex with her. She testified during her cross examination. She also purchased rhino erection. That's gas station level, ain't it? Rhino erection pills. You can look at the back behind the fucking person. You can see all that shit, right? I don't know how safe it is to use some of that stuff, but it is what it is. A common brand. There it is. Look, all I need to do is fucking read the next sentence. A common brand found at gas stations across the country. And so she could spend less time prepping the men. She previously testified she would be forced to perform foreplay for hours. And it was really not so fun having to wind up these guys. Wind up. Wind up. Yeah. All right. And that's another thing that just kills us. I mean, the only physical thing that makes sense to us logically is the drugs that are involved, right? Allegedly. Because these women are testifying about hours on hours and back to back situations or days at a time. What the fuck? All right. All right, all right. I don't need that much pussy. I'm sorry. I don't need 48 hours straight. I don't. One of Jay's preferred partners for freakos or whole nights, as she and Sean Combs called them, was a man named Paul. If I had to do what I had to do, at least there was somebody who had a warm energy about them, Jane testified Tuesday under a court-approved pseudonym to protect her identity. Turns out Paul is also one of Sean Combs' personal trainers. What's with these personal trainers all the time? They stay they stay involved with your chicks too. I mean, Cassie got a baby by one of them, right? A family with one of them right now. Yo, what's all right? All right. Combs' personal trainers, according to Wednesday's testimony, he role played as Shaquille O'Neal in the trio sex fantasies where Jane was Kobe Bryant, Combs was Michael Jordan. Yeah. I'm already mad that he's checking at the hotels under Frank Black. I'm already tight at that. You know what I'm saying? Leave Kobe and Shaq and Mike the fuck. What? Can y'all imagine Diddy in a hotel room or something? I would be Michael Jordan tonight. What the fuck are you doing? At this point, nothing should shock us, but they still find ways to put things in front of me that make me say, Diddy, use a next. You different. You different. This is Teeny right here, too, y'all. Make sure y'all have the face in mind. The white woman, one of Diddy's defense attorneys, that's getting up there and kicking ass. Okay. Sometimes you call a woman to berate a woman. All right. Optics, people, optics. Combs' ability to spot and curate talent helped him build his fortune. It's difficult not to think about this when looking at a stable of lawyers he's amassed in a federal trial. 9 so far, all with distinct approaches. And absolutely, he put together his own little dream team. Tina Gallegos is center stage now, conducting her biggest cross examination of the trial as she attempts to pick apart the testimony of the pseudonym's witness, Jane, the daughter of famed celebrity attorney Ragos. Okay. So yeah, that's the background to her. We know who she is. She is not to be played with. All right. Shawn Combs once spent $15,000 on a ladies' night birthday dinner for Jane and more than a dozen of her, including a private room at a Los Angeles restaurant and a new outfit. The witness confirmed during her cross examination. But Jane quibbled when a defense attorney suggested she enjoyed the dinner, which Combs did not attend. I did not have a birthday, she said, describing the night as just an okay time. So when Diddy's not there, it's not even as good, but he's paying for it. Go ahead, 15 grand, go do your thing. You and your girls night out, paying for that type of stuff, huh? Turned into a different birthday encounter in Miami Beach. Defense attorney Tina Gallegos asked Jane about a text exchange in which she asked Combs if they could have dinner someplace other than Nobu, a world-renowned sushi franchise. Dining at Nobu wasn't that glamorous, James told the attorney. It was convenient for Combs since they were staying at an attached hotel for a freak off. I really wanted to get out of the hotel, Jane said, testifying under an alias to protect her name once again. Yada yada. We know that. I'm asking if he could please romance me outside of the rooms, the hotel rooms. Uh-oh, what's this? Quotes. Why do you lie? Jane texts Combs on 2023 after they had a freak off at the Noble Hotel in Miami Beach. I didn't want to do all of that on my birthday. You knew how tired I was. Oh, so even saying stuff like that, like just I was tired. Like I pick apart words sometimes, people. That to me is it's telling a tale. You knew how tired I was. So that's basically what's the reverse. I'm cool with it, but I let Shorty get a couple more hours of sleep first. Like she's looking crazy in front of defense. We're hearing some of it come out, people. We have already seen some very, very big contradictions in her shit as far as her being an opportunist. Okay. Jane sent these messages to Combs after seeing him with the rapper Young Miami, whose legal name is Carisha. On a trip to Turks and Caicos, defense attorney Tina Gallegos zeroed on the timing, suggesting that Jane complained about the freak off after she saw Combs with another woman and got jealous. Jane insisted that she was hurt because Combs made her have sex with 3 guys on her birthday. She lashed out on the text, not because of his relationship with that's Young Miami, but because of how he made me feel after doing something like that. It's still the aftermath of it, right? The after. I mean, you already are looking in the mirror to yourself, because I could believe that you don't want to be doing a freak off with 3 men. I could go for that. Even though this woman is a hoe, in my opinion, already, I can go for. I'm not the woman that's just walking the world telling myself, "Damn, I can't wait until the next time I'm in the bed with 3 guys." I definitely can believe that that's more Diddy stuff, and he opened that world up to you guys. He turned y'all out. Hey, this is what I'm into, and they ran along with it for all their different reasons. Whether they wanted to keep him, whether they wanted to have a family with him, whether they loved him, whether they wanted to please him, whether they was getting their rent paid for, they had their fucking reasons. So I can see that. See that. But if you do that, and then these jealous text messages come after because here he goes in Turks and Caicos with Young Miami. What defense attorney isn't going to zero in on that shit? It's the convenience of timing. Now you beefing with me. Now you be. I just sent you to dinner with your homegirls. You got that $15,000 cash app, didn't you? I didn't hear no fucking complaining then. We did 20 freak offs before I sent you that 15 grand, right? The convenience of this shit is it makes her look crazy, and this is why I'm just like, who's gonna who's gonna look at her as quality after this? Her testimony and the shit that's coming out on her during this trial is so bad. It makes you look at 50, not just because he has a 12-year-old son with the girl, but it makes you look at 50 and say, use one of these. I need a trophy wife type of girl niggas too. Maybe your original baby mother that was from Queens with you there wasn't 50 Cent billionaire status. Maybe that was the one. All right. Because the women that you was around, they wasn't bringing, well, his last one. I said that on stream the other day. That was spotted out with Travis Scott. She looked like a woman of substance. She got her own shit going. She's a career woman and all that. But this girl, Jane, she got shit going on, but her fucking face, long hair, and big titties and flat stomach. She's beautiful. She's beautiful, but that what is she bring? She got y'all. She got y'all. And it makes me look at you, nigga. Like, look what Diddy is able to do with this woman. So what did you see in her? 50, what did you see in this woman? Pass her physical, beautiful standout woman. What else did you see in her? Knowing that you's a fucking super mogul millionaire, and which you need to keep around you. People go so fucking, they go so hard on swearing up and down that the niggas around them got to be of a certain cloth and a certain quality. What about the women? Oh, that would make y'all suckers for love. Think about it. I could listen to 50 Cent rant and rave about not letting people stand in the middle. And you say this and you out of here. I'm gonna go to war with you. I'm gonna beef with you. I don't care if you young buck. I don't care if you game. I don't care if you this or whatever. Tonyo better not ever say something I disagree with. You know? Niggas will swear up and down how crazy they go about the men that's in their circle, right? But then you're gonna put one of your enemies, right? The woman that'll actually put you in jail for a life sentence. That's the one that's next to you, though. That's the one that you in your bedroom with. That's the one that knows more about you than Tony Yayo, right? The guys in Diddy's life, I'm pretty sure some of them don't know that. Damn, this nigga was over there in the corner in the Trump Tower with the Astroglide while Cassie. I'm pretty sure he's got close friends that don't know those type of details. But Cassie's, Daphne does, Young Miami does. These girls know. Mia, right? They know the shit that'll take down your whole empire. So who you selecting? The loyal, hold it down, sturdy, keep their mouth shut, stand up for you, protect your business, protect your reputation, not try to be there to fucking coax you out of millions of dollars. That's the one you got. That's the one you choose. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. The contradictory in it is massive. It's life impacting. It's freedom impacting. Sometimes it's deadly. All that shit y'all talk about the niggas in y'all, but all you got next to you in your fucking bedroom with your deepest, darkest secrets is a fucking hoe with no background. A woman that is willing to let me do this type of shit to her, how could I trust her? How could I trust her? But I'm exposed this phone call with Young Buck though. I'm gonna be on Young Buck's heels forever for what's probably pennies to 50. But Daphne, nah, 10,000 a month is what you gonna get. That's crazy. That's crazy. I never even thought about that. But that is insane. All right. Sometimes the women will show you who the men is or the man is. Jane insisted that she was hurt. She was hurt because Combs made her have sex with three guys. All right, on her birthday. Let's move on. Before the mid afternoon break, defense lawyer Tina Garagos asked Jane about an exchange she had with Paul, a personal trainer for Shawn Combs, who also their freak offs. She asked if Jane remembered admitting that you've allowed too much and that is your fault. Something she apparently told Paul in 2023 about her dynamic with Shawn Combs. People do what people allow. And if the trainer's over here telling you, like, yo, you letting this nigga do too much with you, you know what I'm saying? You're not giving him that no means no or putting your foot down. This man's giving you some good advice, it seems like. And he's a guy that's even in there fucking on you too. You got how you got the trainer that's getting paid by Diddy, so he's got motive to shut the fuck up and stay in line. And he's in the freak offs with you, and you's a badass chick. So I'm pretty sure he's enjoying that. And he's pulling you to the side and say, like, oh, I think you might be going too far. The person that's fucking you is telling you you're going too far. Insane. This girl looks crazy too. Damn. I need Rico stuff, people. They are killing me with these women up there. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Not if you put me on that jury, man. Damn. Damn. All right. That you've allowed too much and that it's your fault. Something she apparently told Paul in 2023 about her dynamic with Shawn Combs. Wednesday is the second day that Garagos has cross-examined Jane and the fifth day of her testimony for pivotal government witness who is testifying under the pseudonym. They say that she's also going to testify this morning. So that would be her sixth day of testimony. Wow. Analysis, a $15,000 birthday dinner, but what to make of it? Jane's birthday celebration, which my colleague Anne just wrote about, is exactly the type of complex scenario jurors are asked with judging. Shawn Combs' legal team used the anecdote to paint him as a wealthy man showering his friend with luxurious gifts, 15,000 for a private dinner with her friends, a luxury hotel in Miami Beach, a dinner at Nobu where a single dumpling costs $10. It is what it is. They say he got her teeth done too. They say he did her veneers. We keep saying the $10,000 a month rent, paying for her lawyers right now to this day while she's up there testifying with testimony that will fucking put him in jail for life, possibly. Incredible. After a short mid-afternoon break, Tina Garagos immediately picked up her cross-examination of Jane by bringing up the informal love contract between her and Shawn Combs. This verbal agreement is a key part of the sex trafficking case against the embattled media mogul. The couple agreed on a monthly allowance of $10,000 for Jane, which ended up going towards a Los Angeles home for her and her child. It was revealed during testimony last that Combs is still paying her rent for that home. See, that you throw a big curveball in there when you mention the child, because then somebody can toss the opinion out there saying something like, if I'll Bitcoin, if you're taking advantage of her, it's fucked up because she's relying on this, and maybe she is using that in her mind as coercion or forced labor, whatever, because this is also the housing for her child. So if she ever invoked that, I didn't see any of that come out in highlights or reports or on social media or in articles like this about her coming out and saying, I did these things for my son. I would have fell back on it. She said, I'd be a little sensitive to that. Like, ooh, you know, I would rather hear her say that, even if she's lying. I would rather hear her say that. I had to do some of this shit because I was out of work. I didn't have no job. Me and 50 still going through custody battles. He ain't really helping me right now. I quit my job to be a mother or whatever. I was living the rich husband's the wife of a rich husband. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't. And now here I am with the son, and I need to take care of him. How else was I going to put a roof over his head? If I hear that, I'd be like, ooh, yeah, the jury's they're gonna feel a way about that. But here's the other side of the coin could also be all right, you as your own person, as a mother, as an independent woman, right? It's your responsibility in this world to take care of the child that you brought into this world. Okay. So if you can't do it, you got this guy over here that's giving you $10,000 a month. And it's not 10,000 a month because up until yesterday, we've all been saying, God damn, like what did you need for 10? What type of crib did you need for $10,000 a month? That's a nice crib in a lot of zip codes, right? Instead, say, this guy, he did have a lot of money. He made sure that even your son got to live at a certain standard. His father's 50 Cent. Doesn't Marquise complain about? I'm up here doing shit that these lawyers should be saying right now. Doesn't Marquise have online complaints about lifestyle, considering that his father is 50 Cent? The money that he gets monthly is too little and all that. Agree or disagree? Where's that picture? Yo, Diddy is literally helping you with your responsibility as a mother to put not just a roof on son's head, but even a nice lifestyle. So when he goes to school and they say 50 Cent is your father, they don't say why you live in a little shit like that that people go into custody court with. Wow. Out of that coin do y'all prefer? It's a good question. Which side of that coin? All right. It was revealed during testimony last week that Combs is still paying the rent for that home. Still, okay. Still. If I was Tina, I'd get up there and be like, look at the heart of my client, of the defendant, Shawn Combs. Right? You're up here trying to put him in jail, and he's still making sure your son has a fucking roof over his head. I would say that if I was just so the jury could hear it. Jane broke down on the stand while reading aloud a loving message she said she penned to Shawn Combs in 2023. After a hotel night, a freak off that year, Jane, a former girlfriend, testifying under, all right, how many times are you going to write that? We know. Pseudonym. We know. The fact that you are reason for my child's joy. Oh my God. All I had to do once again is what I love when I'm with the shit I'm reading or with y'all in the chat. Like, oh, look, I just said it, right? And then boom. Yep, same page. Literally. The fact that you are the reason for my child's joy is a feeling inside me I can't explain. Oh, we should see what side of the coin we lead into that last point now, then, right? Because now she's saying it. I was just asking the question. She's testifying to it. Her son. Wow. Jane said on the stand, choking up. She managed to continue. I love you so much as my friend, my lover, my boyfriend. Oh, the word boyfriend. The word boyfriend. Okay. Even though you don't like that word. Oh, all right. That's a little contradictory. Well, he's like, bitch, don't call me that. Combs did not make eye contact, instead, keeping his gaze focused on the screen in front of him, showing a transcript. Jane has been under cross-examination for 2 days, and it appears to be taking an emotional toll. She keeps a box of tissues on the witness stand. Okay. Shortly after 2023 New York trip that included a freak off, apologized to Shawn Combs via text for getting upset with him. Jane had previously testified that she believed it would be a romantic trip. Instead, it was centered around a hotel night, causing her to tell the producer she was done with sex and the male escorts. Jane ended up getting COVID from the encounter, and Combs went to Howard Homecoming in Washington shortly after. I love making you happy, Jane told him in text exchange. No one can ever compare to you. Jane's demeanor on the stand has changed markedly since Tuesday, when she was occasionally defiant. She has cast her eyes downward and at times spoken barely above a whisper. She feels defeated then. Body language matters. Body language matters. If your chest is up and your chin is out and you're being corrupt, because it's one thing when the prosecution is in front of you. They're there to alley-oop you. That's a team. That's a tandem. You're working with him, right? And I say from those texts, once again, I think that she was working with him or with the government pretty early. It seems like she was lying to him to a degree with certain text messages that she was writing. There was just a little, that's weird to say it like that. But you look at you look at the nature of even the up and downs of their relationship, even when he goes for another woman, even when she gets pissed off at him, right? And you show me up until 2023, there's times where you're taking money, there's times when you're taking gifts, there's times where you're taking trips with me, and then when I'm out of you, when I'm not with you, you're telling me, you're texting me, you're not happy. You're telling me you wish it was more about us. You're calling me your boyfriend. This is so much consent. And literally, we're not talking about the person that's chained to the fucking walls in the basement. You guys are even divided. He bought you your own crib or is paying for your own crib. You guys are divided. He's on a Turks and Caicos trip with somebody else. And yet you continue to come back together. You're an opportunist, shorty. And you're kind of showing things that we can believe that you seemed more uncomfortable with the freak offs, at least from what's being expressed. God knows the shit that isn't coming out in court. You seem more uncomfortable and you have complained about, damn, I thought it was going to be just me and you. I thought this birthday trip was just going to be me and you. And then all of a sudden, bow, I walk into the room and there's three guys there. You more than Cassie, it seems. Cassie seemed way more with it from the testimonies. Yet you continue to come back. What is your fucking motives? Cross is showing it. Cross is fucking showing. And your text messages, as well as the things that he showered you with. Jane asked about sobriety party freak off. Defense lawyer Tina Garagos asked Jane to explain her feelings surrounding the sobriety party freak off. Jane had testified that she was often under the influence of drugs during sex parties, but on one occasion she stayed sober because she hoped to encourage Combs to do the same. She called it a sobriety party. Okay. What's this one? Sean Combs told his ex-girlfriend Jane that Cassie Ventura was one of his greatest loves. Jane confirmed on the stand Wednesday afternoon. Combs' attorney Tina Garagos brought up Ventura towards the end of her cross-examination, which has been paused until Thursday morning. All right. The jury has been excused for the day. Okay. All right. We gotta continue to some of that shit from yesterday and Miss Jane. Some of it is a little redundant. Some of it is things that we already know, like 30 to 40, maybe 50% of that stuff we already know. But they're just pulling the details. And hey, it's the defense's turn to cross. And they're painting their pictures for the jury. And this should be her last day, it seems. But because she's such a big witness, to have her up there that long, the prosecution might believe in her to be one of the, if not the most important. I mean, Cassie and Kid Cudi, of course, and Capricorn. There's been some big stuff. This is high up on their list. Spending a lot of time with 50 Cent BM. Let's take a quick look at this one right here as well, related to updates from yesterday. Diddy Trial, Jane Doe or Jane says she tried to use freak offs to get her way with Diddy. That wouldn't be good. Well, these text messages that came out as well. Diddy's ex once suggested the possibility of freak get Diddy to ditch his date. This according to her testimony. Jane is back on the stand for another intense day of cross-examination, and Diddy's legal team asked her about a text she sent where she seemed to be using the mogul's turn on to get him to do what she wants. Diddy's lawyer, Tina Garagos, asked Jane about a night when Diddy was hanging out with Young Miami on vacation. Jane testified that she pulled the hotel night card. So when we see in quotes like that, hotel night, Jane and Diddy didn't call them freak offs. Like you see Cassie texting FOs, freak offs, right? They called them freak offs straight up. You know, Jane and Diddy referred to them more so as just hotel night. Okay. Hotel nights are the names she and Diddy gave to freak offs. There you go. Telling him he wouldn't get to do anything he wanted with her if he decided to stay with Young Me on vacay. That's big. That's big. What do you do with that if you're on the jury? What do you do with that? You are you are petitioning your body to me and these sexcapades to me to get me away from another woman. And you are also showing a lot of consent. I'm not talking about the hotel nights or the free course, a lot of consent, even towards the nature of who you're dealing with, right? I.e., a cheater. Because if you know he's on a fucking trip with Young Miami, another woman, period, I don't care who it was, and you're telling him, end that date, come back home or come back around me or else no more freak offs. You're showing me that you're also accepting a fucking cheater. Oh man. She says after Diddy left his vacation early, she set up a Valentine's Day freak off with two different entertainers at the same time as a treat for him. Turn it off. She's done. Damn. He leaves the shit early and you set up a Valentine's Day freak off for him that, yo, shorty, you got it. Am I wrong calling her a hoe? And if I had to dummy it down a little bit, mega opportunist. There you go. Politically correct. Allegedly. We'll leave it alone, people. We'll see what else she's gonna close out with this morning. But it does leave the jury conflicted. All of her testimony. There's a lot that she has said that compounds what the government is going after: sex trafficking, these escorts. Even though we're looking at her, it's like the nature of us makes us look at her and be like, "Shorty, come on, like, come on, son, come on. We know what's going on. We know what this is about. We know what you up to. Cut it out." But the government is not there to make her look like this stand-up woman. That's not what they're using her for. They're using her for continuing to compound the RICO, which is the sex trafficking stuff. So all the freak off stuff, while we're sitting here paying attention to like, sure, the one that set it up on V-Day, the government is saying, cool, look at her however you want to look at her. But they're bringing in these sex workers that are being paid for these services. This is sex trafficking. And so she's saying a lot of things that the government is using to prove out their charges. But the nature of consent that a lot of the jury is still going to see, text messages and the opportunity that these women are being given and that they're willingly accepting, that's what they're going to have to deliberate over. That's crazy. All right, let's move over to damn, I could really hear it still in my voice. Y'all could see it, right? Y'all could tell, like, yeah, we could see why ARP wasn't up at 4 o'clock this morning, right? You could hear it in my voice. I'm still here to work though. I was still here to work. All right, Dash loses everything. Judge orders seizure of his entertainment empire. This is the last, right? Damon Dash loses everything. Judge orders seizure of his entertainment empire. Hip hop mogul Damon Dash and his company Poppinting LC have been ordered by a federal judge to hand over full ownership of multiple businesses and film copyrights after failing to pay the court-ordered $823,000 plus judgment. The order issued this was a couple days ago, June 9th, by U.S. Magistrate Judge Robert W. Lieberger, includes control of Dame Dash's Films Incorporated, Blurrock, whatever. Blurrock, is that his last name or something? Because they already said, like, nah, you're not getting out of here by having some of your companies in your wife's name. She's a target now, too. They already did that in court. But yeah, that particular LLC, BlackRock LLC, yeah, I don't care if it's not named Dame Dash. Turn it over. Wow. And stakes in Lebanon Improvements LLC, Ocean East Improvements LLC, and 1996 Songs LLC, exclusively reported by allhiphop.com. There's a lot. Oh, once again, saying everything. Additionally, Dame must surrender copyrights to 4 films: Honor Up, Too Honorable, We Went to China, and Welcome Back to Black Rock. Unless Dash files objections by June 16, 2025, these assets will be auctioned by the U.S. Marshal within 180 days, with proceeds used to satisfy the unpaid judgment and surplus returned to him. There ain't gonna be no surplus. So all these judgments that he has on him, they're liquidating all of his assets, his companies. They're going to auction them off. They're going to take that bread. And here's the payouts to the people that have been waiting for their money, right? If the auction sells something that was worth $5 billion and this person was only deserving of 1 million from their judgment, don't worry, we'll give you the balance. Ain't going to be no balance coming back. What auction do you go to and you get more than it's like if you buy the car off the lot for 100 grand and then you put it in the auction a week later, you're not getting 100 grand for it. That's just not these auctions, like, come on. People treat auctions like flea markets sometimes, as far as bidding. Wow. It's a lot. This is a follow-up to Dash's previous loss of his of his 1/3 stake in Rockefeller Records, which did not help Weber and Muddy Waters due to other government claims. The underlying lawsuit centered on alleged copyright infringement and defamation. Dash was ordered to pay 705,000 plus in damages, plus 117,000 plus in fees and interest. He's even these judgments have been hanging out there so long. He's racking up things like 117 in interest alone. And remember, we asked the question earlier if he's back payments for these judgments. Just guess where his taxes might be. He could be well behind on God knows how much in taxes. The plaintiffs, plural, then asked the court to seize extra assets after Dash failed to pay. The judge has given Dash 14 days to provide ownership certificates and another 10 to deliver signed assignments to the marshal. To read the rest on balleralert.com. Oh, okay. That's just the rest of the block. Wow. Wow. We already said prior for covering Dame When It Rains, It Pours. This is beyond that. This is beyond that. And with all due respect, because there are things about Dame that I do respect. I respect that he's kind of like the personality that comes off like, I stand on what I stand on and I ain't doubling back and I'm not sacrificing or jeopardizing who I am and who I want to be. I respect that. I've always taken the position, though, on the flip side, I think he's a very abrasive person. I don't think that he knows how to collaborate with multiple different types of personalities. You get up there on the Breakfast Club and you cast darkness on anybody that has an employer or a boss, you know? So you're out saying you're a weak man to me if you ever report to a manager, then I'm gonna work with you next year. Like it's just his personality was never meant for longevity outside of like a J somebody else that's got power that you take the good with the bad in certain business relationships. Once he's on his own, his personality is not cut to be as successful he was in his prime. We see some people that on their own, they've rebranded their careers, they've gotten into new things, they continue to move up on the financial ladder. Dame has seemed to have been on a decline ever since the Rockefeller breakup. And I do believe, in all due respect, I do believe a bunch of that is attributed to his personality and the way that he deals with people. I do believe that. But I wish him the best. I wish him the best. I'm curious to see if this is like a walk off into the sun type of thing, or if we continue to see him. He's a very prideful man. So I could see him still doing his interviews, telling the plaintiffs, fuck you, and telling the judge, fuck you. I could still see him maybe trying to do his content. He's still got to earn a living for himself, right? He's still got a roof over his head and a family and children to aid, right? So he still has to earn for himself. I expect to still see him making some type of moves. But damn, like these are the type of moves, or these are the type of situations where if you all the assets that you've had, like I don't know what's left. I was waiting to see if they was gonna pull his YouTube channel as well. Like, it was like they're gonna snatch that too. Like, shit, what is he gonna earn? Then you're just walking around with just your name. You have to hustle from using your name. A documentary, a book, start doing a bunch of interviews like Charleston. Dame Dash talks very well. He's controversial, so he's good content, right? If Charleston White could be out making a living from doing interviews, so could Dame Dash. Like maybe go that route. I'm just offering options that's coming to mind. I don't know what else he would try to be involved in. The entertainment world seems to be shutting him. Like, who want to do business with him after all of this type of stuff? Well, there'll be people to do business with him because he still has that name, right? But those are smaller people. Like, who's going to do big business? Like, what big brands or big name companies will stand with Dame Dash? I don't think anybody, right? I just don't see how. I just don't like people. There's a million other people that people would rather put their money with than a Dame at this point. That just seems much like a liability, unfortunately. But I don't wish I don't wish him the worst or nothing like that. Shout out to Dame, but I'm just calling it like I see it. Real quick with this one. This is going to be the shortest one, I promise. What is this? Alleged threats that was going on during the beef.
He said you should, and this is what I don't know. And I'm gonna ask Drake. I'm like, Drake, is this true? He says you should have heard this nigga Drake, what he was saying to us before we whipped his ass. This is what he told. I said, what do you mean? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never really knew Drake speaking to anybody. Like, Drake has told me he hasn't spoken to Dot directly, but I didn't know about if he spoke to anybody else in and around Anthony Salah, he confirms to me, yes, Drake was sending me voice notes talking crazy like he's a mob boss. That's what he says. He says Drake is saying to him, Drake is saying shit like, yo, I'm gonna done you like just talking crazy like, yo, you niggas is washed. Yo, you got like you guys think you could finish me? Crazy. All of a sudden, they're like, then we drop the bomb, right? Cool. Not like us here talking. All right. Then he gives me some more insight. And I ain't gonna lie to you. It's worth going to the concert for this insight. I live off insight.
We're going to the concert.
He says that Pusha T shit is real. He says the only problem is people think that happened recently. That didn't happen recently.
So did academics go to the Kendrick Lamar concert and they slightly turned him into a Porter on the low? You see it, right? I think Drake is despised academics to a degree. He just used them. He's a big platform. He used them, and academics was carrying a ton of personality towards Drake that shows you could be turned out. You could be one of my minions. I can send you out there and you can fight some of my battles for me, some of my media and public-based battles for me, because we saw the academics and the malls of the world, they carried so much bias that, you can do Drake's bidding for him or with him. I also saw that Kai Cenat announced that Drake is about to do a stream. I don't know if it's today or this week or coming up. And a lot of people that be on Axe Hills continue to say, like, you do all this riding for Drake. Why he's not doing none of these streams where he's over with Aiden or Kai or this the XQC guy, whatever. Why is he not pulling up on your channel, and giving back to the biggest platform that has just shielded Drake as much as possible during all this shit? I don't think Act has ever been able to give a logical answer to that other than just being defensive. Like, oh, you don't have to. We don't know. Not like, no. It's symbolic of Drake even moving like that. It's symbolic. you know, at the end of the day, the core root of it is showing some type of appreciation to the people that do something for you. And academics has done a lot for Drake. Even though Drake is Drake, he's done a lot for him. That's why Drake talks to him, because he knows like you're a platform. If academics didn't have a platform, none of these people would talk to him, right? So, you know what? I think if Act continues to do things that I think Drake would hate him for, which he already possibly does, and then that creates finally a more neutral academics within the whole Drake and Kendrick line that will continue for even years to come, then good. So if he went over there and they got they claws in him and said, "Look, man, let me give you some info that you don't know about your boy Drake." And he comes back and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And he starts reporting a Kendrick perspective as well as his biased Drake perspective. And but we just want an unbiased person. That's it, because you're one of the biggest platforms out there. Anyway, see what's left to come with that. Here's another short one. Is this a skit, people? I don't know. Hold on.
All right, bro, it's on camera. Like, what? You think you can take my chain from there? That's hilarious. Hey, Shawn, what up, bro?
He took my chain while he was performing and like didn't give it back. Like, he had my chain. Like, what the fuck, dog? Like, you guys aren't getting away with like what? Yo.
Kind of his reaction at the end kind of seems real. It does. The only reason why I was like, is this a play? Is this a skit? Is this promotion? Is this content? Is because didn't he just get his chain snatched or taken, or was he robbed at gunpoint in Miami like a couple weeks ago while he had his security guards with him? Right? Didn't that just happen? Then there was another video that came out where they crossed Little Baby and Jack on the street, and Little Baby like shakes his hand, shouts him out, and doesn't he say something to him like, "You got that same security guard with you that was with you when you got robbed?" Like, and then Little Baby kept it pushing, right? And then here, Little Baby, while there's a bright light flashing in his face and camera right there in his face, he's slipping off dude's chain, and then he just continues to walk. So Little Baby's not out here robbing people's chains, and he's not going to put himself ill for robbing somebody. He walks into the jewelry store and spends $100,000 a month, if not more, right? He's into jewelry. We see that. So he's not. This isn't a criminal type move. Like, oh, I'm out here back boy bag. I don't see that. I just, at the same time, there's elements of it that don't feel like it's a joke. So it's just like, is he just like punking you? Like, I don't want your chain. I'm not like, how do you somebody, but you're not trying to rob them? That, if that makes sense, y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like, I just want to punk you and show you that you just keep losing your chain. I'll give it back to you later. Like, oh, it's like, what? I don't know, man. How the checks and balances, like, I don't know what to do with that one. All right. I don't know what to do with that one. All right. Let me you see meth. You see meth in the thumbnail. I said on yesterday's stream, and I was just like, oh wait, today's Wednesday. I got something going on tonight. I'll give y'all a recap in the morning. What I was talking about was the final chapter. All right. The Wu is on tour right now. Wu-Tang Forever, the final chapter. Legacy wise, time wise, the age of them, how many of them there are, it's not like a two-man group where the odds are higher to get these two people together 30 years later down the road. It's like 9 of these motherfuckers, the Wu, right? And we lost Old Dirty a long time ago, but his son has been performing as his father, old ODB, on tour with Wu forever. Since he was a kid, with the braids, the look, the mannerisms, the moves like Dirty and all that. So all these years, Dirty's son really has become Dirty. And from the fans' perspective, it almost feels like it's complete, right? Even though we know Dirty passed once again. So from a legacy standpoint, when you call it the final chapter, and to see all of the members coming together, because when I went to the show last night, that was my thoughts leading in. Like, is anybody going to be missing? You know, like there's a couple people that it's like, this ain't even a Wu concert if they're not there. Like they're too center of, they're all super important, right? Like, is it a Wu concert? There's no Ghost or there's no Meth. Like, and you know, I could say the same for RZA, and you could say the same for just, you know, and Ray. But like if Master Killer wasn't there, I'd be okay. And shout out to Master Killer as my guy, but I think he's the least visible of all the members. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, calling it final chapter, it did make me feel like I don't know how many opportunities we're going to get to see this group as a full collective for years to come. So I'll start there. They're on tour right now, people. If they come into your city or anywhere nearby, even if it's the nosebleed seats that you got to get, try to see this show. From a hip hop standpoint, it's the Wu. From a legacy standpoint and from a possible availability standpoint, get there. Let me talk about the actual quality of the show. I've been to 1 million concerts. I've been there live with some of the most epic hip hop moments. When Jay brought Michael Jackson out, Jay dropped Takeover and he dissed Nas for the first time. The Summer Jam scream with Prodigy. When he brought Nas out and they got back together. When Bang'em Smurf and all them niggas was throwing chairs at 50 Cent. The Best of Both Worlds tour before it got shut down. I was there, you know. I seen Beanie Man live. I seen Bounty Killer live. I've seen all the greats, it feels like. Almost all the greats. Seen Eminem. Yeah, I've seen Eminem live. Not a full show by him, though. I've seen Snoop. I've seen everybody live. And I've seen a lot of incredible shows and a lot of incredible sets. This Wu show seen last night might be top 3 shows I've ever seen. Concerts, musical concerts I've ever seen. And not even from a presentation standpoint. When I talk about presentation, when I went and saw Busta Rhymes a couple months ago and all that, they turned that place into a circus. It's an all-out spectacle. When I went to Kendrick and SZA's tour a couple weeks ago, the screens, the dancers, the platforms going down in the air, they turned it into a whole big spectacle. The Wu did none of that. They got the screens up there, yeah, but it's just so raw, and it's just them, just sitting there doing a laid out set that transitions, paces, and is organized perfectly without the added spec of it, and it makes my top 3. It starts off with what it should start off with, which is tracks from 36 Chambers, Bring the Ruckus, Wu-Tang Clan, Ain't Nothing to Fuck, all of that. And it's just like, wow, you start in the beginning. And all the members don't come out to begin with. Like, I think Ray came out first, and then Ghost comes out after. You know, RZA comes out. And, you know, they're coming out at times of their song. Ek comes out. You know, it was like 6-7 songs in before Meth came out. Meth, I put him in the thumbnail because clearly Meth is still the biggest standout of the biggest star. He's the biggest attraction, right? He was even back then when his first solo album dropped. He was the biggest star of the group. I'm not saying he's the most talented, he's the best rapper. That's a debate for the ages because the Wu just has different pockets of talent all over the place. But Meth is the biggest star, the guy that continued to do TV, sitcoms, and movies, and like and when he came out, you could even hear the women in the crowd turn up, right? So what do they say? If the women want to be with you and the guys want to be like you, you got it. He still got that type of draw, right? And when he came out, and Capadonna even came out after him, and they situate and organize the show. The flow of it is perfect because I think it would have gotten a little watered down if the entire show you still got just all 9 of them on the stage at all times. No. There's a segment, for example, where it's just Ray and Ghost. And it's just like, oh my God, they're doing their duo thing for us. Incredible. That could be a show within itself, just Ray and Ghost. Then there's like another set where it's just Meth. Then there's like another piece where it's just like RZA and Jizza. Then there's like another, and they're changing outfits between all these different times in the show and everything. Another time where comes back out and Redman joins them. Because you hear the beat playing and then it just drops. Microphone checked up. All of that is that. The water kid, Mr. Bet. It's like, oh, they go rap while on y'all. Meth and Red do a set, right? There's a time where Capadonna is up there just doing his own thing. It was an incredible show, and to sit there and watch it live, it was another reminder of how much they have. I tweeted while I was there, I was just like, Wu is the best group. And in my title, you see best group ever. I know we have our out, our Mob Deeps, our Goody Mobs, our Cash Monies, our No Limits, Young Money. Who I know we have some super groups. There is no collective that gave hip hop more of that raw hip hop and that quality and that amount of talent and that amount of album. Come on, Supreme Clientele is coming out in 8 days by Ghostface. Clientele Part 2. There is no group. They are the top group. I'm not in my Staten Island bag right now. I'm in my hip hop bag. They are the group. They are. And all the songs that they performed, you know, when I got there and they kicking off with 36 Chambers, I'm turning to my boy, hey, I'm just like, you know, I need things like Triumph is like I would ask for a refund if we don't hear Triumph. Like, you know, but damn, outside of that, I need to hear things like Incarcerated, Scarfaces. They did it, right? It's like there's certain songs I got it. And then when I left, I'm just like, what songs didn't they play? And that catalog can create a whole nother 20 different shows, 20 different sets of the songs that they didn't even do. It's like there's only 3 songs that I feel like, damn, I really wanted those involved last night, though. There's 3. When Dirty did his set, he did songs like Shimmy Shimmy Ya and all that, and you know, those are his big commercial hits. I wanted Dirty to do Brooklyn Zoo. I really wanted to see Brooklyn Zoo live. I don't know if it's a personal thing. I just wanted to hear that the laughing come on. Yeah. One man on 8. I never been. I keep MCs. I drop drops enough to make you go. Energy building. Types of medicine. Thought you was better than. I keep playing this in orbit. Enough to bake, break, shake as I create. Rhymes good as taste cake. Miss your style. I mastered it. Get your what you need. Aspirin. I needed that last night. The other one probably could have been out of the 3. It's Yours. They didn't do It's Yours. I hope this isn't a spoiler for anybody that still catch the tour. It's not a part of their set. It's Yours is a big song, I think. The third one is the most important song to me that they didn't do. And I was just like, yo, now you wildin'. And it's already touted in the hip hop books as one of the best hip hop verses of all time. And it's Capadonna's Winter Wars. Dial 917-0911 and you could get long hip hop perfection. I damage any MC that step in my production. I'm Staten Island's best, son. What you heard, niggas keep talking. That shit is absurd. My repertoire is USSR. PLO style got the car and ran over by the Method Man Jeep. Like that long ass verse where he came on the track and just dropped a dark cloud on everybody. That I think the Wu needs to do. I don't know why they're not doing that song. It's one of the best verses in hip hop history. But other than that, it did feel like a complete show. It really did. Like I said, I got it top 3. The nostalgia effect of it, to see these guys together like this, is just it's amazing. And the way that the set is just organized, it felt perfect, and it leads up to the last song before the night, and they walk off stage, and it's Triumph. You know, to get this whole show to lead up to that, it was incredible. Incredible. I don't know if I've seen the Wu before, but I don't know if I've ever seen Triumph, all the members live. You know, for me personally, that's like one of my favorite hip hop moments. You know, if you are a hip hop head, people, I'm telling you, this might be your opportunity. If you haven't, I feel like so many people have never seen it. You know, this might be your opportunity to see Triumph, one of the greatest hip hop songs ever, which also had, it's amazing that it's Wu members that have 10 verses of all time. Like some people put Nas's Verbal Intercourse in like the top 10 verse of all time, just happens to be on a Wu album. Crazy, right? um, but Capadonna's Winter Wars and Inspector Deck's Triumph verse are that literally a lot and many hip hop historians put in the top 10 verses of all time, which makes Triumph one of those possible top 10 hip hop songs of all time, right? And this opportunity, people, chat, to go see with all the members that song live. It's one of my favorite hip hop moments ever. I got to see that last night. Triumph. And then that song ends, guaranteed to make them jump like Rod Strickland. And they all come together at the front of the stage, and it's like, everybody, you know what I mean, appreciate y'all, love y'all. We out of here. Get home. Just like, got my yellow on today. Last night, this is why my voice sounds like this. This is why the stream is super late. This is why we're here at knock instead of 6 o'clock. This is why my energy is a little bit reduced. This is why, because last night I was at that show. I got to sleep. I didn't get to sleep till like maybe 2 o'clock. It felt like something like that. So it's like 2 a.m. Incredible people. Incredible. Oh yeah, one last thing before I get out of here. Another thing, not just because I want to add on to Meth in the thumbnail of him being still the star of the group that I can see from, you know, being there live once again. I also want to give him another shout out. Shout out to Meth, man. Meth has been a supporter of the entire battle rap world, even a supporter of RBE. And I want to say thank you to Meth for Meth. Meth is one of those guys that, in so many words, is too accessible. You know, I could relate because I've gotten that about me from my own brother. Like, he told me, like, yo, you're too accessible to some of these niggas. You let these 1SK people talk to you and all that. It's me. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. Sometimes I get hurt for it. And sometimes it's just like, yo, ARP is one of the coolest, most down-to-earth people. You know, I still text people that I met from 1SKs today, and I'm retired. I was texting with Snipes today. Somebody call me a liar. Like, I was texting with Sniper yesterday. I don't got no business going on. I met him as a 1SK, you know? So some people say that I've always been too accessible, but it's just the nature of my personality. Good at times. And Meth is like that. If he sees a chance to help somebody, if he sees a chance to bring some extra light to somebody, if he sees that, you know, he fucks with you, he goes out of his way. If y'all remember when COVID had us all indoors and RBE was doing the social distance series, when you look at the intro and we got all those hip hop people that was giving us, you know, to add to the footage. And I always appreciate all the people that was involved in social distance. You see people like Mike Scott. Shout out to Mike Scott. You see people like Crooked Eye. You see Joel Ortiz. You see, man, right? You see a bunch. You see, my man Cass. You know, he did a piece on it too. You just see a bunch of people in the intro that was, supporting RBE and what we was doing at that time, and Meth was one of them. And I think Meth has done songs with people like Cortez, probably Swave. Think he's done shit with Ill Will. I think he's done interviews with 15 Minutes of Fame, maybe 3 Yeah, he was up there on 15 Minutes of Fame when they was asking him about his reaction to the Adi Boom and Big K shit, right? He's always been very supportive of the battle rap world, man. And he's been a very down to earth, accessible person. And he's from my hometown. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for Meth, man. I fuck with him. I really appreciate him. You know what I mean? So that's why I put Meth. I could have just put a big W in the thumbnail. I chose Meth for those 2 reasons. All right. So shout out to Meth once again. And shout out to the whole Wu, the greatest group of all time. Oh, and who opened the show? It was LP and Killer Mike. Killer Mike is somebody I have a lot of respect for. Came to a couple of RBE events. We follow each other, I think, on Twitter. Real down to earth, cool guy too. One of the smartest people from the hip hop world that I've ever met. Killer Mike, smart as shit. And you see the way he represents our culture, he represents our people, he represents our environment, right? I got a lot of respect for Killer Mike, a lot of respect for him. So yeah, go see it. It's important. It's important. So all right, I'm gonna get up out of here, people. Still crossed an hour, even though we started late, and I'm still fucking from last night, but we got the job done still. Like I said, my commitment is 7 days a week unless I got something critical going on or I'm out of town. All right. Got the job done. Hope this was a decent stream for y'all, and we will be back ASAP. I got y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without my thing, still got a gun.